Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 30.
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8th electoral vote, in Indiana with its 11th electoral vote, West Virginia, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy to see all of you here today on a Wednesday. This will be my second of maybe 4 streams today. I'm not sure. We'll see. But we had the classic intro, and it never gets old. It never does get old. It's always awesome to watch that intro. And we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot going on. Mad Max says, Jeremy, now that you have finally seen 13 hours, did your rage disgust meter for Hillary go through the roof like me? I mean, it was already there. It just added to it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I already have so much disgust for Hillary Clinton at this point in time. So it just added to it watching that. But yeah, it was the first time I've seen 13 hours. Great movie. I'm on a Michael Bay kick right now. I don't know why, watching old school Michael Bay movies. So Michael Bay's made a lot of good movies. He's made some bad ones too. But man, when he was on it, he was on it, man. He really was. So anyway, let's see. Blue Eyed Scorpio says, can you make it the last stream of the year today? Sure. Just for you, Blue Eyed Scorpio. This is the last CobraCast of the year. Just because Blue Eyed Scorpio respectfully asked. All you have to do is respectfully ask, and you'll get it. So there you go. He was so nice about it. He was just like, hey, Jeremy, do you mind? Can you just make this the last CobraCast of the year? Sure, Blue Eyed Scorpio. See, he says victory. There you go. Not bad. Not bad at all. So see, that's how you get things done, man. You just have to be nice and respectful. And there you go. Jessica says, wow, we get the day off. Amazing. Tonight is the last Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stream. happening on the Geeks Gamers Play channel. It's the last one, unless Mario Kart World sucks. And then we'll be back on Mario Kart 8. So we'll see if it's the last one. It's the last one if Mario Kart World is good. But if Mario Kart World sucks, then we'll be back on the Mario Kart 8 stream. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Finally, we'll get to CobraCast 200. All right. So there's yesterday, David Sachs. I have not watched this clip, but I've seen it going around. David Sachs says that Pocahontas had the auto pin and wasn't afraid to use it. So there's a lot of speculation as to who was controlling the auto pin for the Biden administration, because it wasn't Joe Biden. And David Sachs has an opinion.
This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants to drive this community offshore. She doesn't want it happening in the United States. That's the wrong policy for the United States. We want all the innovation happening here. This is a financial system of the future. It's cheaper, it's more efficient. We want it happening here, Jesse, and I think people are thrilled that President Trump is making that possible.
I'm curious as to how he came to that conclusion. I don't doubt what he's saying. I would like a little more substance behind that as to like, whoa, where is this coming from? What do you know? So I would like to know more details around that for sure as to how she was in control of the auto pin, because I've always thought that the two names that would make the most sense are Barack Obama and Jill Biden. Those are the two names that I feel make the most sense. Like, I don't see how Pocahontas would even have the influence or the clout to pull something like that off. You know what I mean? But yeah, Chuck Schumer's another one. Schumer is absolutely one that could be at the top of that list for sure. But Elizabeth Warren, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But I would like to hear more about his theories behind that as to how he comes to that conclusion. Now, we just had a video drop not too long ago. David Hogg just got hit by Project Veritas. That's right. Let me pull this up. So here we go. David Hogg says Jill Biden's chief of staff, Anthony Bernal, secretly ran the Biden White House in bombshell footage filmed by Project Veritas. That was an open secret. I would avoid him. He was scary. Let's listen to what David Hogg has to say. What we ultimately need to appreciate here is that the Democrats are completely unraveling right before our very eyes. Everything they have built is falling apart. All of their lies, their house of cards is just crumbling down right before our very eyes. And just think back to 2020 and how bad things were and how much you could appreciate this even more if you would just go back to 2020 and think about how bad things were, and now look at how it's all falling apart.
One question for me is like, how corrupt is the DNC if so many people knew, or few people knew about Biden, well, the president of the United States?
I mean, I think the fact of the matter is the DNC is always going to be like a campaign arm of the president, ultimately. The bigger issue was like the inner circle that was around Biden. That's it.
And I can't stress to you enough.
Like Joe Biden's chief of staff, like had an enormous amount of power.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden's chief of staff.
That was like an open secret at the level. Like, I would avoid him. Like, he was scary.
What was his name?
Anthony Bernal.
I've never seen him.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
He's like a shadowy, like, Wizard of Oz type figure. That's what made him so, like, I knew how he looked, but I'm like, the general public wouldn't know how this man looked. But he wielded an enormous amount of power, and I can't stress to you how much power he had at the White House.
How do these people keep getting caught up in this? How do these people keep getting caught up in this? How are they this stupid to just say these things? But again, this is what happens when you're constantly hiding things. And Like I've said many times, I learned very early on, once my YouTube channel started gaining traction, I don't say anything in DMs that I don't want put publicly, because I just don't. Like, I don't say anything in DMs because people will try to use that or whatever. So like, whatever I say in DMs can be, whatever. Like I'm waiting for people to post that stuff. Whatever I say in private is something I would just say in public, because people are always trying to get you. How does someone like David Hogg, who has put himself at the forefront of the fucking Democratic Party, how has he found himself in this position? Well, first of all, he's an idiot. He's a poser. He's a fake. He's a fraud. We know that. But I just look at how many times, and I will go back to generally what I think Project Veritas or James O'Keefe have done in the past is that they put a really hot chick in the situation to make these dudes talk. I don't think that happened with David Hogg. I think you probably had a dude talking to David Hogg in order to, get him to talk, because I don't think a hot chick would have done the job for David Hogg. So probably a soy boy beta, is probably the person they got to talk to David Hogg to get him to talk. I'm not sure. But either way, how do they keep finding themselves in this position? Does David Hogg saying this mean anything to me? Not really. It doesn't confirm anything to me. It doesn't make me think like I don't think this is a bombshell, because I don't think David Hogg knows any fucking thing. I don't think David Hogg knows shit. I think David Hogg tries to portray himself as someone that knows a lot, but I don't think he actually knows a lot. I really don't. But I mean, the biggest piece of this news is Project Veritas like a thing still? So I don't know. Is it a thing? I thought it was dead, but then all of a sudden James O'Keefe suddenly wants to start, talking about Project Veritas again. It's a strange dynamic either way. But that's going around right now, that news. Blue Eyed Scorpio says, took 6 years and 30 days, but I finally got you to stop. Been watching it since Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, which is how I know. Cheers, buddy. Let's go, Blue Eyed Scorpio. Appreciate you, brother. Nandy says, don't worry about DMs. We all know you're gay. Hera becomes a new member. Thank you for becoming a new member to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier with a gifted membership. Let's go. And then we got Judge Jeanine has officially been sworn in, ladies and gentlemen. Judge Jeanine officially sworn in.
I do solemnly swear.
I, Jeanine Pirro, do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I take this obligation freely.
And that I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office upon which I am about to enter.
Of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Judge Jeanine is awesome.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Madam Attorney General, both my friends for many years. Long ago, I went to law school to study about justice and to bring justice to victims of violent crimes, women, children, and the elderly. I fought to give them a voice in a system that was both blind and deaf to their concerns. I dedicated my heart and soul to making sure that there was a system that responded to them. My profile and my prosecutorial successes garnered public attention, and my life took unexpected turns. Through all of this, President Trump, you have remained as steadfast as one of my earliest supporters and champions. You never wavered. You were always steadfast, trustworthy.
Yeah, he always does that, and he always does the chair pull out for like world leaders. Yet all these people try to take that one clip of him with Netanyahu, and they're like, "Look, Trump knows who the boss is. He's pulling the chair out," and it's like, this is why I dismiss all of that nonsense, because when people just spew ridiculous bullshit, it's like, I don't take any of your bullshit seriously at that point in time. When you're just going to blatantly lie about something, when there's footage of Trump pulling out the chair for other world leaders, because it's a respectful thing to do, but people take that one clip and they spin it and say Trump knows who the real boss is. It's so fucking retarded.
And confident. Today, Mr. President, you bring me back to my roots. And it is a larger arena, but no less an arena where we need justice, where we need to send a message that justice will be honored in the District of Columbia. And just last week, here in our nation's capital, two people on the brink of beginning their life had hopes and dreams that were never realized because a cold-blooded murderer made a decision to shoot them down on the streets on a cold, rainy night in our nation's capital. This will not go without just accounting. My voice should be heard loud and clear. No more tolerance of hatred, no more mercy for criminals. Violence will be addressed directly with the appropriate punishment. And this city will again become a shining city on a hill in an America that President Trump has promised to make great again and will make safe again. Mr. President, America thanks you, and I thank you.
That's awesome. Nice to have some real leadership and getting some things done. I think Judge Jeanine is going to be awesome, and I'm really happy to see that. So good stuff. I did get a comment right here. D-Day Cobra, we both agree Breaking Bad is an amazing show, if not the best, but what do you think of Game of Thrones? I'm rewatching it for the third time right now. I think Game of Thrones, for the first 4 seasons, maybe 5, was on track to be the single greatest television show ever made. And then it just started a pretty, it started declining. And then we got to season 8 and it fell off a cliff. A cliff that is impossible to properly explain. And so that's the problem with Game of Thrones, is that it was so good. It was great, all-time great for those first several seasons, but then it just fell off a cliff. I personally have not rewatched it after season 8 because it's just there's no point in it. That's why I didn't even want to watch House of the Dragon. And I heard House of the Dragon's really good, but I just was like, I don't really want to watch this, you know. Football Jones becomes a new member. Thank you. Black Kane says, I'm going to leak my DMs with Jeremy. You wouldn't believe how many slurs for Bosnians he knows, or how weird his balls look. Yeah, so I agreed. I feel the same way, says Dylan. Yeah, man, it's it just sucks because it could have been so great. But if you have not seen Sons of Anarchy, I would highly recommend Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy is on the level of Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad is a more consistently good show because I think that Sons of Anarchy drops a little bit. Like I think it's season 3. It kind of dips just a bit, but it gets back on track. But Sons of Anarchy is fucking phenomenal. So what up, Flash? Yellow Flash in the chat. Can confirm Sons of Anarchy is amazing. Yeah, man. I personally like. I think Breaking Bad slightly better show objectively, but I think I personally prefer Sons of Anarchy over Breaking Bad. I freaking love Sons of Anarchy. Deadwood is still my favorite. I haven't seen Deadwood. I've heard good things about it. So, SOA is all right. Oh, it's better than all right. It's freaking great. Magnum Norris says Game of Thrones was my favorite, but they dropped the ball at the finish line. Breaking Bad had a perfect ending. Yes, and then you had Better Call Saul, which is a nearly perfect prequel to Breaking Bad. Now, El Camino is something that I wouldn't even recommend watching. El Camino was a complete waste of time in every way. I can't tell you El Camino is like the worst thing ever, but the worst criticism of any show I can give you is to say it's so forgettable, it's not even worth watching. It's not even worth watching. That's how bad it is. Football Jones with 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. 5 gifties. El Camino added nothing to the story. Yeah, it is completely irrelevant. There's no reason to watch El Camino at all. Just don't even waste your time with it. Linko Kenobi says, what's up, everyone? Let's make America great again. Hail the 199. Sorry, I missed the Geeks and Gamers Daily. Was doing videos. Looking forward to tonight's Geeks and Gamers play. And also Battlefront 2. Hopefully missed that game. Yes, we're hopefully going to play Battlefront 2 tomorrow on Locals. Hopefully. And we can, you guys can play with us as well. It's probably going to be on PS5. I hear that on PC it's completely broken due to hackers and things like that. That's what I'm hearing. I saw Moist Critical uploaded a video, and it looks like Battlefront 2 has just been completely broken by hackers. Hunter says, thoughts on Ozark? No spoilers, please. Hail the 199 and the Big Leader. I started Ozark, and I only watched like the first few episodes. It was okay, but it didn't pull me in. And I've been meaning to go back to it because, right, Ryan, RK Outpost, told me that Ozark's great. I've heard so many people tell me Ozark is great. I just couldn't fully get into it. So I'm going to have to give it another shot. But a lot of people have talked very highly of Ozark. So I will be giving it another shot in the near future. So right here, President Trump says in 2 weeks, he will let America know if he thinks Putin wants peace. We're going to find out if he's tapping us along or not. If he is, we'll respond a little bit differently. Let's listen to what Trump says.
Simply an emotional response. And do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out whether or not he's tapping us along or not. And if he is, we'll respond a little bit differently, but it'll take about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We have Mr. Witkoff is here, is doing a phenomenal job, is dealing with them very strongly right now. They seem to want to do something, but until the document is signed, I can't tell you. Nobody can.
You can't hear it? I don't know why they don't bump the volume up on these videos, this Florida Voice news. Like, they have shitty... Hey, Florida's Voice, bump up your fucking audio on Twitter. The hell's wrong with you guys? I'm trying to grift content out of you, and I can't do that when you don't bump the volume up. Because StreamYard sucks, by the way. That's one of the main reasons why. StreamYard sucks. And I pay a lot of money for StreamYard to suck. Troy Intel says, I finished Cobra Kai yesterday. You were absolutely correct. Perfect finale, an eternal classic. I can never say enough good stuff about Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai it's definitely like, it's a show that I can just put that show on in the background at any time, and I can just turn and look, and I get pulled into any element of the story over the course of the series. It's just great. I love it so much. So if you have not watched Cobra Kai yet, you're missing out on greatness. Shorty Short says, hey, Jeremy. Hello, Shorty Short. Magna North says, Jeremy, Deadwood should be your priority if you haven't seen it. Where is it at? Where is it? Where's the stream at, or where can I watch it at? Is it on Prime? I think it might be Prime. Fenrir Fire says Jeremy only watches gays on Thrones, not the same as Game of Thrones. I didn't know it was gay for $1. A whole $1. I didn't know it was gay for a whole $1. Good old Beardo. Let's see. It's on HBO. Okay. It's an HBO show? Okay. How many seasons is it? I do want to check it out. By the way, I got to show you guys this clip of Stephen A. Smith being a clown once again, because this is what Stephen A. is. Stephen A. rides the fence in ways that I didn't know you could ride the fence. Listen to this.
It makes Trump look right.
You know what makes Trump look right? Trump.
Because that hatred for him that led people to compromise their own professional principles just to ensure that he didn't win the presidency? Well, if you were willing to do that, then all of a sudden, does it not buffer his arguments about lawfare being exercised against him? Does it not buffer his arguments about fake news, fake news, fake news? Does it not buffer the credibility that comes to his arguments that it was a witch hunt? Does it not in some way buffer the notion that somebody might have cheated him in 2020? I don't believe that last part. He lost that damn election.
How can you be so stupid to think that 2020 was legit? All you have to do is look up the number of votes that Barack Obama got in his first election, which was, let me see if I can remember this correctly. I believe Barack Obama got 69 million votes in 2008. I believe he got 65 million in 2012. I believe Hillary Clinton got 66 million in 2016. And then Joe Biden got 81 million in 2020. But there's nothing to worry about, guys. There's no cheating. There's no cheating. Am I right about those numbers? I think I'm right about those numbers. So it went from 69 to 65 to 66 to 81. And then Kamala got, what, 66, 67 again? But there's no cheating, guys. It was all good.
And I get that. I'm talking about him genuinely feeling cheated, as opposed to knowing he's lying because, oh my God, the numbers say so. Why should he give a damn? The rest of us, yes. Why should he give a damn about the numbers? You see what hatred can do? You see what an absence of objectivity can do?
Yeah, Stephen A., it can make people vote for Kamala Harris like you did. You voted for Kamala Harris. And you can't even say why. You don't even know why you voted for Kamala Harris. You can't even give a reason why. All of your reasons for voting for Kamala are anti-Trump reasons. Because she had no stance on anything. Anybody that voted for Kamala because of their hatred for Trump. They didn't vote for Kamala Harris because of her policies. They didn't vote for Kamala Harris because of her leadership. They didn't vote for Kamala Harris because of her accomplishments, anything. They voted for her because she wasn't Trump. Not one single person can tell me a reason, a valid reason, why they voted for Harris over Trump without bringing Trump into it. Because there is no reason.
You see how the corrupt actions of a few, whether it's him and a potpourri of his lies over the years, or Democrats and the lies that they were spewing leading up to the election. You see how we all got screwed? Because now the American people are sitting here not knowing what to believe or who to believe anymore.
We know exactly who to believe. We believe President Trump. And that's why his numbers are stronger than they've been ever. He's more popular than he's ever been right now at this moment in time, Stephen A. Smith. So yes, Americans know who to believe. and they believe President Trump's numbers support that. Yes, why is he yelling? Yeah, didn't you tell Vinny to calm down, Stephen A? Anyway, I wanted to play that little clip that's getting traction because you see people are like the headline on it was careful, Stephen, you're starting to ask the right questions. People always fall for Stephen A's bullshit. It's amazing. They always fall for it, no matter what. It's like this dude is a liar, a fence sitter, and a clown. All right. Now, we've got Jen Psaki debunking Joe Rogan and the conspiracy theorists who claim Patriot Front is a Fed operation. Let's see what Jen Psaki's got to say.
There's a video of Patriot Front and me and Matt Taibbi. I go, they're feds. I go, it's me yelling, where's the fat people?
Yeah.
They're all wearing the
I
same
saw that
uniform.
clip. I saw
One
that
guy's
clip.
got a drum. Get the out of here. These are feds.
Yeah.
These are feds. The day after Kash Patel gets in, they disband.
So that was Joe Rogan, of course, back in March, pushing the conspiracy theory that the white nationalist group Patriot Front was actually a fake FBI front. Now, you probably know Patriot Front because, as Joe Rogan points out, whenever they host one of their hate rallies, they do so in uniform. You can see them on the screen there. Ever since the group splintered off from the white nationalist group that planned the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia back in 2017, Patriot Front has traveled.
The fact that they're still talking about Charlottesville is so fucking hilarious, dude.
All around the country, spewing racist and anti-Semitic hate. But rather than just condemn the group, right-wing conspiracy theorists and Trump allies have insisted that Patriot Front is actually just the FBI trying to make the white nationalism seem like a bigger threat than it actually is. It's not just Joe Rogan pushing that idea.
Yeah, I mean, that happens when you have to create fake hate crimes because you can't find any real ones. Jesse Smollett, LeBron James, and the list goes on of all of these prominent dudes creating fake hate crimes because you can't actually find any real hate crimes because you're trying to make people believe that this is a bigger problem than it is.
Elon Musk has pushed the theory.
Angel Reese, yes.
As have multiple members of
Bubba
Congress.
Wallace.
The core of the theory goes like this. The reason this group wore your uniforms en masse was to hide the fact that they were secretly FBI agents, obviously. And that once Kash Patel was in charge of the FBI, he would simply fire the agents involved and the group would cease to exist. That's how it goes. Well, Mr. Patel was sworn into office back in February, and this was the local news in Kansas City this past weekend.
Kansas City, Missouri residents are expressing alarm after a hate group marched in downtown Kansas City yesterday. We got footage of that group while they were at the Liberty Memorial before they began their march downtown. The group was in a uniform wearing tan hats, white masks covering their faces, navy blue shirts, tan pants.
This is so obvious. This is so obvious what this is. How does anybody believe this?
In boots, some were carrying shields. The flags they carried included upside-down American flags, the Confederate flag, and a flag that identifies the group as the Patriot Front.
Seems very much like Patriot Front still exists.
Good Lord. Again, let's remember this is the same person that covered up Joe Biden's health crisis at the White House when she was the press secretary. But yes, I mean, you have to be a fucking idiot if you don't believe that those aren't feds. Like, you have to be an Listen, I am from the state of Alabama, okay? There are some white people in the state of Alabama that are racist as fuck, okay? And they all are sitting on their porch drinking beer. And half of them don't bathe. And they go hunting. And they go fishing. And they're just good old boys. And that's all it is to it, man. Some of them are in my family. You know what I mean? So, but these guys like all well put together, marching in order. Like, no, shut up. Shut up. That's not real. It's fake. And of course, Democrats need that out there to push the narrative, because, racist people hanging out on the front porch, drinking beer, talking shit. I'm not going to repeat some of the things they say. I've been part of a lot of those conversations. It's fun. It's interesting. You know? Roll Tide. All right. Anyway. All right. So we've got this video right here. President Trump has warned Bibi Netanyahu. Netflix Yahoo is what somebody said. Let's call him Netflix Yahoo. So President Trump just confirmed that he warned Netflix Yahoo not to sabotage his negotiations with Iran. What? I was told that President Trump works for Israel and he has no power over them and he is a cuck to them, and that Netflix Yahoo actually runs the United States of America. I was told this over and over again. Let's listen in if we can hear it.
Did you warn Prime Minister Netanyahu against taking some sort of actions that could disrupt the talks there in a phone call last week?
Well, I'd like to be honest. Yes, I did. Next question, please.
Mr. President, just last on sanctions.
I did, yeah.
If Senate Republicans want to push
It's not a warning. I said I don't think it's appropriate.
What exactly did you tell him? Did you
I just said I don't think it's appropriate. We're having very good discussions with him, and I said I don't think it's appropriate right now. Because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, with inspections and no trust. I don't trust anybody.
What I do know right now is this makes Ben Shapiro very mad. Ben Shapiro is so mad that he probably won't even put on his lift boots to make himself look taller. That's how mad Ben Shapiro is. Ben Shapiro is fuming right now. And it's great.
Trust anybody. So no trust. I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors. We can take whatever we want. We can blow up whatever we want, but nobody getting killed. We can blow up a lab, but nobody's going to be in the lab, as opposed to everybody being in the lab and blowing it up, right? Two ways of doing it. Yeah, I told him this would be inappropriate to do right now because we're very close to a solution. Now, that could change at any moment. Could change with a phone call. But right now, I think they want to make a deal, and if we can make a deal, save a lot of lives.
So there you go. There's the update. So we'll see what happens. But let's see. We've got Magnum Norris. Got that one. Got that one. Didn't know it was good. Nandy says thoughts on Doge cuts missing from the bill. I saw Elon talking about that earlier. I need to look into it. And I saw Trump addressed it a little bit in a press conference, but I don't know the specifics. I've tried to do, like, these bills have so much bloat in them that it's hard to know what's beneficial and what's not. But I haven't looked that far into it. Operation One says, hey, Jeremy, good to see you. It's been a while. Best regards from Israel. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you here, brother. Shorty Short says, Deadwood, Rome, and Resident Alien series. Noted. I didn't know it was gay. Says, California passed a law that allows illegals to count votes. Did you cover that, Jeremy? I did not. I'll have to look into that one. Andrew says, I just got back from watching the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. It's genuinely one of the most vile things I can't believe it's going to make money. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot about it. I was never a big Lilo and Stitch, person. So I don't know, man. Somebody sent me a care package, so I do have the ability to watch it. I don't know, man. Lilo and Stitch is something I've never had an interest in. But I've heard they made a lot of changes from the original source material. So that's a big discussion going on. Let's see. Eric K says, breaking news, FBI, Kash Patel confirms the bombs dropped on Hiroshima was actually swamp gas ignited by a candle. This is what happened. This is what happened to trust us. Polite Rude Guy says, we the people for Trump's third term, Trump 2028. Big Texan Mazda says, a dude with TDS had that Fed front set up in front of his home to pretend to protest against illegals and moved it into the city. And is that Maine? He posted on Facebook saying that they were MAGA, then took it down. I believe it. I mean, again, the TDS is the biggest problem facing our country and our society, and it's not even close. So that's always been my stance. TDS is the biggest problem ever. And that's the thing, man. Like, these people, if you disagree with Trump on one thing, the people with TDS run with it and say, oh my God, look, Trump's base is turning on him. It's like, no, I disagree with Trump on a number of issues. That's perfectly fine. I think Kash Patel has done a terrible job. I think Dan Bongino has not done a good job. I think Pam Bondi has done a really bad job at this point. And those directly are Donald Trump's picks. He was involved in the Epstein fiasco that happened with the binders and all of that. Like, it was a disaster. It was a complete and total disaster. And that falls on Trump. It does. And I think it's always going to follow this administration. The Epstein stuff is always going to follow this administration. Now, it was always going to be an issue, but because Pam Bondi decided to do that binder thing where she called all of these super gay influencers to go hold up these binders and pretend that they were releasing something, but in reality, it was an empty folder. And Trump was present when that happened. They confirmed it, that Trump and Vance were there. They were there when it happened. So there's no escaping it. There's no escaping that element, and it's going to follow this administration. And something needs to be done about it, and we can't let up on it. Darth Gavel says Trump 2028, 2032, 2036, 2040. Let's go. General Duality says, did you hear about how Trump wasn't informed about Putin almost being deleted by drones last week? Seems like a major thing Trump should know about. No, well, he said it in an interview where they asked him about it, and he didn't even know about that. Project Taco says, went to a strip club over the weekend, and now I got pink eye. Shit is fucked. Be careful, brother. Project Taco becomes a new member. Thank you. Shorty Short says, is Liam, is that was allows its followers to lie to non-believers. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah. Project Taco, thoughts and prayers for you, buddy. Sorry for you. Sorry to hear that. That's are you sure it was a chick? Oh, Islam? Oh, well, you had a space there. Islam allows its followers to lie to non-believers. Okay, well, you put a space in Islam, so I didn't know what you meant by that. But I hope it was a chick, at least. I hope. Hopefully you know the answer, because that might even be worse if you don't know the answer. So I don't know. Seems like a tough situation, though, buddy. Thoughts and prayers for you. What is this show? Why do people watch this show? Seriously. Can anyone explain that? By the way, so I saw this hit my feed on YouTube, and it's the 2024 presidential election in 400 seconds. This is a pretty good recap of everything that happened. And we all lived this. We all witnessed this. It was incredible.
My candidacy for president of the United States.
DeSantis is going to launch his bid on Twitter.
All right, sorry about that. I think we are kind of melting the servers.
Dude, do you remember that? Do you remember when DeSantis wanted to drop that and they did it on Twitter Spaces, and the servers crashed and they could never get it? Failure to launch is what that was. Failure to launch.
Bid on Twitter.
All right, sorry about that. I think we are kind of melting the servers.
I don't have 6-inch heels. Because his cowboy boots. And he's walking like...
She made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice. You're just
the easy answer. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die.
You do this at every debate. You say, no, don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. The most obnoxious blowhard in America. So shut up for very long.
The Democratic nomination for President of the United States.
And they have a picture of me supposedly eating a dog.
That's been the worst.
What?
Hard in America. So shut up for very long.
The Democratic nomination for President of the United States.
And they have a picture of me supposedly eating a dog.
That's been the work of my first term.
to fight for our democracy. That's why I'm running for re-election.
The indictment that showed 34 counts of falsifying business records.
We have never seen before a presidential mugshot.
Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
Biden campaign challenged Donald Trump to debate as soon as next month. This would be by far the earliest general election debate in history.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers. I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So what do we do about this?
Dealing with everything we have to do with... look.
On behalf of the Democratic Party, I throw it in. Biden's done.
There is a conversation happening.
We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
There is time for this party to figure out a different way.
I remember after that debate, the meltdown from the mainstream was like nothing I'd ever seen, man. They were freaking out. It was so funny.
But you challenged me to a golf match. You can't hit a ball 50 yards. I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. I've seen you swing. I know you swing. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
You know why they're doing this? You know why they put up this feeble old man, this elder abuse that they're doing right now? God damn it, get him out of there! Are you nuts?
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Kind of pain.
You answered all the questions, Joe. You did a great job.
Pains me to say this today. President Biden needs to step down.
Take a look what happened.
Let me get my shoes.
I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. I stand before you only by the grace of Almighty God.
Enough was enough! And I said, let Trumpomania rule again!
J.D. Vance was take money to be former President Donald Trump's running mate in 2024.
Joe Biden screwed up, and my community paid the price.
To sure he's going to win. He's going to win in a landslide.
My fellow Americans, I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
Harris riding a wave of newfound optimism in the Democratic Party. Charlie XCX supposed to quote, Kamala is bread.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
That is the
Oh my God.
Kamala is bread.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
That is the laugh of a crazy person. There's something wrong with Kamala. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
A bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made.
Well, it's true. These guys are just weird. They're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something.
Kamala Harris picks Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as running mate.
And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. You are my entire world, and I love you. We're down a field goal. We're on offense, and we've got the ball. We're driving down the field 1 inch at a time, 1 yard at a time.
1 inch at a time?
One phone call at a time, one door knock at a time. We got 76 days. That's nothing. There'll be time to sleep when you're dead. We're going to leave it on the field.
But America, we are not going back. We are not going back. On behalf of everyone who's
you remember this cringe photo op they did? They found a little black girl to sit there and go, this is what you can become. You can become the president of the United States one day. Everything about this campaign was cringe. Everything about it. It was also forced. It was also fake. Freedom.
Story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth. I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
Let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. It's a good debate. Thank you.
I forgot that she walked up to him and introduced herself as Kamala Harris. God, that looked so bad.
Let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. It's a good debate. Thank you.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Pregnant women suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that.
Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. She was big on defund the police. Wait a minute, I'm talking now.
I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference. He talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter, windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
Just let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. She can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. Oh, that won by a lot.
Bro, I love that she accused Trump of all of these horrible things. And the only thing Trump got offended over was that she said people leave his rallies early. He goes, okay, hold on. All right, that's too far. He's like, you could say all these things about me, but people aren't leaving my rallies. Like, I love that. That is the most Trumpian thing ever.
Respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. She can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. Oh, that won by a lot.
Did she get you rattled?
No, not at all.
You seemed a bit rattled.
He was also incredibly distractible tonight. He took the bait on nearly every question.
I don't think Donald Trump was well prepared.
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
Tim, first of all, I didn't know that your 17-year-old witnessed a shooting. I'm sorry about that, and I hope you're doing okay. Christ have mercy. It is awful.
Is cocaine a stronger up? Yeah. So you're way up.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. And prevent World War III, which is going to happen. Kamala, you're a vice president. Get the hell out of here, fired.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
I literally lose sleep over what is at stake in this election. I end the day pretty much every day asking myself, what can I do more?
That's a pretty great video, man. That's a pretty great video. Honestly, they missed stuff though. Like they didn't get the McDonald's situation. They didn't get the trash, when he drove the trash truck. There's a lot of little things that could be added to that, but that just shows you how crazy that entire lead up to the 2024 election was. We will never see anything like that again. Never. That is how crazy things have gotten. Unbelievable. So what a run it's been. What a crazy, crazy run it's been. Let me catch up here. Let's see. Damn it. Did I miss? I missed a few of these. Magnum North says, Saki Source is another news outlet owned by NBC. Convenient. Yep. I missed that one. Sorry, Magnum North. Got that one. The Miki will inherit the earth, says Ben Shapiro is the Rachel Zegler of Israel. Hassan Piker is the Pedro Pascal of Palestine. Tell me I'm wrong. No, you're not. I mean, Ben Shapiro is just Ben Shapiro is just so annoying to the point where anytime he says anything at this point, I don't take anything seriously he says, especially in politics. His movie opinions are okay, but that's about it. Vlad says James in talks now to get Project Veritas back. I'm not a big fan. Like the whole thing with James O'Keefe was when he claimed that he wasn't suicidal and he made that big kind of like overly dramatic video with the big sigh and the camera angles, and he's like, and then he disappears for a week, and then he drops the video, and then the next day he's got this all exclusive party in Miami where he's DJing, and they've got like a rooftop penthouse, and it's all these, you know, right-wing celebrities there. And I was like, this dude is full of shit. Like, it doesn't mean that he doesn't do great investigative journalism, because he clearly does. But when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out on this dude in terms of like taking him seriously, and like it's overly dramatic bullshit. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Ramtax says Trump probably knew about Putin's assassination attempt. He probably had to approve Ukraine's assassination attempt on him. Packing Proton says, saw something on X about Elon not liking the big beautiful bill. It's about the spending in the bill that Elon has some issues with. Demi Moore's Tapeworm says, Project Taco getting peak eye? Brah. Build that immunity. You merely adapted the booty. I was born in it, molded by it. Hail crackers and honkies. I can say that because I'm white. Demi Moore's Tapeworm says, that's what I tell my girlfriend, 1 inch at a time, so I give her an inch of heaven. Sorry, ladies. I have only one woman that can handle that much heaven. Kai Guy says, Trump wasn't the only one who dodged a bullet in 2024. On November 5th, we all did. Yes, we did. Eric K says, reminder, Miki wants the hot men. Drew Barr, member message, thank you. X-Wing Forces, CobraCast Daily Rules. Keep it up. You will get it. There's going to be another one tomorrow. I'm going to try to do these as much as I can. I can't do them every day, but like there'll be another CobraCast later tonight. Before the gaming stream, and then we'll do at least one tomorrow during the day. I'll try to do one during the evening. We're going to try to play Battlefront as well. Joe Bitt says, I think O'Keefe plays both sides. The episodic shit show is morally wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's what bothers me about it. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you're in business and you're doing your thing, I get it. But the whole point of that video that O'Keefe uploaded was to get people invested on an emotional level that his life could be in danger. And that clearly was not the case. It just wasn't the case. You know, I met James O'Keefe. He watched one of my videos. He knew who I was. His team knew who I was. I reacted to like the Disney tapes or something on Geeks and Gamers last year. It got, you know, hundreds of thousands of views. And his team was like, yeah, we saw that video. That was awesome. And I met him. But still doesn't change the fact that it's bullshit the way that he's going about it. Zinni Biscuit says the last election was a roller coaster. I don't usually like roller coasters, but I love that one. It was a hell of a ride, man. It really was. And to watch it play out, and then rewatching it again, it really does. We're never going to experience anything like that again. It's never going to happen. And, oh, man. Huh. Look at this. Why are all the products locked up at Walmart?
I need my money's worth, dog. I need my money's worth. That's very no, that's very wild, though. Come on. That is very wild, bro. Walmart do better. Yeah, that is very wild.
Crazy. That's five lows right there.
Yeah,
that's five
That is
lows.
really wild.
Why did you upload it to the internet? Why did you upload it to the internet? How stupid are you? Good Lord, man. It's one thing to be stupid enough to do it. It's another thing to be stupid enough to do it and then upload it to the fucking internet. I got to say, man, like, I've never talked about the fact that I worked in retail before, okay? But I did work in retail. And I can tell you that the things people do to steal things is crazy. They're very creative. It's also very disturbing things, for sure. And as I said, I watched the PC narrative kind of take over in real time, because in the late 90s, when I was in management and everything, this is back when we could confront and physically take down shoplifters. We could do whatever the fuck we wanted. We could confront them. We could physically withhold them while the police were coming to the store. We call the police, and we could physically hold these people, and we could chase them down and tackle them even back in the late 90s. We got in fights. It was awesome. And then I slowly watched that change over time, and it kept kept slowly changing to where we can confront them, we can fight them, we can hold them, physically hold them down until the police get there, whatever. And then it got to the point where, like, you can't confront them unless you know 100% that they took something. It's like, well, we always knew that. And the whole theory behind it was, say, this is back in the day when we actually had cigarettes and tobacco on the sales floor. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember that, but do you remember when you go into a grocery store and the tobacco and the cigarettes were actually out on the sales floor? That's how long ago this was. So what we would do is and let me be clear, people are curious, did we profile people? This is a very sensitive topic, so I'm going to give a very sensitive answer. You're goddamn right we did. We profiled the fuck out of people. When we saw a certain type of person walk in, we're like, keep an eye on that one right there. And and so so we would, as soon as we saw it, we're like, hey, we got one. So we would watch them. So for instance, with the cigarettes, tobacco, all of that, we would watch them pick up the cigarettes. They would walk around the store. We would keep one person on the cigarette stand, and then another person would follow. And then we didn't actually, sometimes we wouldn't see them actually put it in their pocket, but we know that they never went back to the cigarette stand. So when they would come back up and try to walk out the door, we'd stop them. Hey, what did you do with those cigarettes? Oh, I put them down on the shelf. Okay, well, you need to show me where you put them down on the shelf. Oh, I put them back on the cigarette. No, you didn't, because we've had a person watching the cigarette stand the whole time. So you have to show me where you set them down in the store, or we're calling the police and you're under arrest. And then that led to what would happen next would either be they would take us to where they set it down. They would try to run. They would pull it out of their pants, whatever. And then when they try to run, we would go tackle them. It was awesome. But eventually it got to the point where you couldn't even confront them. And then it got to the point where even if you witness a person stealing in your store, you cannot even ask them anything. You can't even confront them, not even as a manager. You couldn't even say, like, a dude could just walk up right in front of you, look at you, and start putting things in his pants or his hoodie or his pockets. And you as an employee or a manager wouldn't even be allowed to say, hey, you can't do that. Stop doing that. That's the level that it got. And that is the liberal bullshit, PC bullshit that has overrun the United States of America for the last 2 decades. And it sucks. Can't do shit. Can't do anything. Dimon Moore Tapeworm says, I could care less about your sexuality. You are my news source. Ever since Trump assassination attempt on July 13th, appreciate the streams. Thank you. Commodore fan says, worked DG, Dollar General, and had an old ghetto queen line, a purse with tinfoil to steal bags and Tide Pods, other stuff, RFID stickers. We had to block her and call the cops. Yep. Dude, when I worked on the beach in Panama City during spring break, that was the greatest spring break summer ever. There was a lot of distractions, and we saw a lot of crazy things. Commodore, I got that one. Hunter says, when I go shop, I profile. No shame, MAGA. I support it. Aaron James says, mod lives matter, especially that lady Jessica. Wowza. By the way, you, Jeremy, you may have RPTSD, retail PSD. Visiting my sister later. I'll try to introduce her to CobraCast. Let's go. I miss it. I miss working it. It was a simpler time, but I can't work retail now because the industry is so watered down. It just sucks. I've told this story many times, but so I worked for a company, Bruno's, in the South. They owned Food World and a few other lines. I believe there was like 400 or 500 stores nationwide that the company had control over. And I was the youngest co-manager in the company at the time. And I worked there for like 7 years or whatever. And the stores closed down and shit. And so then I went to work for Publix. And I worked for Publix, and it was really strange because Publix, after like a couple of hours, they would come up to you like, "Hey, Jeremy, you need to take a break." I'm like, I don't need a break. I'm just gonna keep working. Like, no, it's been 2 hours. You need to take a break. And I'm like, okay. And then when they would see me picking up a box or something, if it was too heavy, they're like, "Jeremy, we need to get you some help so you don't strain your back." And I'm like, the fuck? And so I felt very strange. And the reason it felt very strange is because when I worked for Bruno's, they didn't give a fuck about you. They were like, no, yeah, work off the clock. It's fine. Yeah, clock out, but we can't pay you overtime, but we need to get this done. Or work through your break or work through your lunch or pick all this up. And I'm like, so when I got to Publix, I'm like, proper way to pick up a box, back braces, taking my break. Are you fucking kidding me? And so I didn't like it. I didn't like that. I was like, no. I was in an abusive relationship with my previous employer. You're treating me very good and very nice. It doesn't feel right. I want to go back to an abusive relationship. So then I found Winn-Dixie, and Winn-Dixie was very abusive, just like Bruno's was. So I was back at home. I was like, okay, you're treating me like shit. You don't care about me. You don't care about my well-being. You don't care about me taking breaks. It felt great to find the abusive relationship with Winn-Dixie again. So it was really weird with Publix, man. Publix was like, we're going to give you stock options. We care about our employees. You're an employee owner here at Publix. Like, what? No. Darth Gavels has been following you since 2011. Let's go. Animating Andy says, did you ever tombstone pile driver a shoplifter? I did not. Other people did, but I did not. I got a DDT in one time. A few sleeper holds. Dimon Moore Tapeworm says, since Costco is a private property membership, we can still detain people. I live in California with the Fetty zombies, and it's bad, man. Been there almost 20 years. You can detain them? That's awesome, actually. Demogenai says, I still in retail. You can only provide customer service to any potential lifter. They stopped the approaching due to potential 66 of an associate. Yeah, I mean, wait, so you can only provide customer service to a potential shoplifter. So you can only say like, hi, sir, may I help you with something? But you can't actually confront them, so you can, if you see them stealing, you're like, hi, sir, can I help you with something? You're like, no. And you're like, okay, have a great day. But even though they've stolen it, you can't do anything about it. Red Mage for 20 says, at conventions, shoplifting is a big problem. I've had DVDs and scale figures lifted from my booth at anime cons. Sometimes we're lucky enough to catch them, but it still sucks, especially if they run off with a high value item. Absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine it's really bad at cons because it gets so congested there, and you just have people on top of each other, and you can't even see who's like there in front of your booth half the time. I imagine that's a huge problem. Matthew Hammond says, insurance companies stopped tackling people. So sad, man. We used to be a proper country when you could beat the shit out of shoplifters. It was like, fuck them up and ask questions later. That was the rule back in the 90s. Fuck them up, ask questions later. Now, not even allowed to even confront them if you literally see them stealing. The best part of it was the profiling, though. And listen, people can take that however they want. All right. It's not a race thing. All right. Maybe one skews more to the other, but it's about profiling. If an individual comes in there and you can tell that they're not a upstanding citizen, you're going to watch them. That's it, man. That's how it should be. So, let's see. I don't ask questions. Marmillan says, want to really hate insurance companies. Look up Sam Insurance that almost every school store has, and worse, many public schools, K through 12. Good Lord. I bet that sounds, I will look it up. Yeah, I mean, insurance companies are the worst. They really are. That's why, what was it? What was that fucking guy's name? That the insurance guy that the guy that killed the insurance guy or whatever, Luigi or whatever. And that's why there was no sympathy for that guy. There was no sympathy for the guy, the insurance guy. But that doesn't justify like a lot of the stuff that we saw on social media. It doesn't justify it at all. I'm not saying that. But it just shows you how much hatred there is for insurance companies out there. There is so much hatred for them. John freaking Murdoch for 50. Sorry, Jeremy. I thought you didn't know who Geordie LaForge was, not Beardo. See there, John? What's up with that, John? I thought we were cool, John. I thought we were cool. It's all good. I knew when you sent that, I was like, we got to correct it because he thinks I don't know who Geordie is. It's Beardo. It's always Beardo. Beardo was always the answer to the question when it's a negative thing. All right. So, yeah, all good, brother. Demi Moore's Tapeworm says, bro, I've caught rich people and grandma's stealing. My favorite retail story was from Toys R Us. I worked at Toys R Us during a Black Friday. Jingle All the Way is not like Jingle All the Way is a documentary. And I found that out when I worked for Toys R Us during Black Friday. I have never seen anything in my life like that. There were grandmas beating the shit out of fucking people with purses to try to get toys. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. And the lead up to it, when we worked at Toys R Us, they brought all the sales employees out there on the floor. You had they brought in this drill sergeant to talk to us and you will not leave your post. If you leave your post, you will be out of here. Don't go to the back room. If somebody asks for something, no, you do not go to the back room. If it's not on the sales floor, it's not on the sales floor. Do not leave your post. And I'm going, what the fuck is wrong with these people? It's just shopping. It's not that big of a deal. Well, I found out real quick that it was that serious, man. I mean, it was crazy. It was awesome. It was chaotic and I enjoyed it. Operation One says, I work retail. Luckily, the PC thing is not such an issue here, but I know what you mean about shoplifters. Those who really want to game the system will find a way to do it. It's a disgrace. 100%, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Yep. Jeremy can make a channel, Jeremy's Retail PSD Self-Therapy. I miss it, man. That's what Joe Rogan's going to bring me on. Hey, Jeremy. Talk to us about your retail stories. That's about the most interesting thing I got, Joe. So Gary needs to be on, though. Gary has prison stories. Gary has drug stories. Gary has grifter stories. Gary has stories that will be fascinating for Joe Rogan. That would be great. I'm lobbying for Gary to be on the Joe Rogan Experience. That's what we want. We want Gary Nerdrotic to be on. So, Uncle Danny says, my Geordie post made it over here. It's $2 more. Let's go. Default says, ever watch the South Park Black Friday trilogy? Not the Black Friday trilogy. I've not watched it. I never watched a ton of South Park unless it was specific stuff. I remember the Kanye episode, the Michael Jackson episode, Tree Fitty episode, some of the classics I've seen, but I didn't watch South Park consistently. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Dance says, the movie Thanksgiving had a bonkers Black Friday scene. I don't do horror movies, but watching that clip was enough for me. Eric K says, at meetups, we need forklift Olympics. I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I drove a forklift. It would take me a little while to get back in the rhythm, but I'm a great forklift driver. It's just been so long since I drove one. Commodore Fan says, Black Friday, Walmart 98, saw two grandmas cane fight. Bro, if only we had smartphones back then to record that, that would maybe be the most viral video ever made, ever. That would be amazing. I would pay good money for that video. Two grandma, and honestly, a lot of people probably think that a lot of this is blown out of proportion. I'm telling you, it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. Like specifically one story on the beach, spring break, and this black dude runs out the store with a case of beer. My store manager goes running after him. My store manager was like in his 50s, and the black dude just turned around backwards, laughing at my store manager. This is what my store manager said. So then I'm like, I run out there when I find out what happened, and my store manager's walking back, and he's like, "Man, ain't no 50-year-old white dude gonna catch that guy." And we were just laughing about it. And this truck full of dudes pulls up, and they had a Confederate flag. And they're like, "Hey, man, you want us to go catch that? You know what?" And I was like, "No, thanks, man. We don't need you. We don't need you to go out there. We don't need your help, bro." It was the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, oh boy, man, that would have been a good thing to record, but it didn't have cell phones back then. So they were good old boys too, man. So they were ready. I was like, no, thank you. It's all good. It's just a case of beer. Rolling Thunder says Joe Rogan average conversation is lame as fuck, FYI. I don't watch Joe Rogan that much. I watch him when he has bigger content creators or people that I'm interested in, but like I'm not a average viewer of Joe Rogan per se. I'll watch the clips and stuff like that. So anyway, okay, we're gonna end it there because I got another stream that I got two other streams today potentially. I'm gonna do another CobraCast. Hopefully before I'm not guaranteeing this, but my idea is to do another CobraCast before the Mario Kart stream. So our final Mario Kart 8 stream is tonight on Geeks and Gamers Play. It's the final one before Mario Kart World drops. I know Dan's going to be joining us. Jay will be there. Krista, the regular crew, Steph, Beardo, Johnny. I think Hollywood Scholar is going to be there. I'm running out of, I'm going to miss somebody. Meek will be there. We may have a few other people join in, so we'll see. It will be fun. It will be fun. Let's see. My stream guide, says, thanks, Jeremy, because of everyone in the fellowship, I have started a new business called My Stream Guide. It should go live in a few months. Well, congratulations, brother. Heck yeah, man. I'm glad that this little corner of the internet inspires so many people to do things. I remember when I've told the story many times about when I didn't have a YouTube channel. I remember I was subscribed to this tech YouTube channel, and he was just a regular guy. I don't even remember the guy's name, but like I remember when he hit 20,000 subscribers on his channel, and I was thinking to myself, how do you do that? How do you get 20,000 subscribers? This guy must walk around all day getting bitches. How does this work? And he was just sort of like overweight dude, but I'm like, but he's got 20,000 subs. He's getting bitches. All he's got to do is like, hey girl, I got 20,000 subs. Want to hook up? That was my view of it. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't review tech. No. And so like in my mind, I'm like 20,000 subscribers. How do you do that? How does one gain this power, sir? Anyway, I just thought that was amazing. And so when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I just was like, how did this happen? And of course it's just continued to go where it's gone. But the whole point is if you want to start something, start it and don't let anything stop you, because I would have never been convinced that I could have 20,000 subscribers, much less nearly 1 million on all my channels now. So, looking forward to see what you do, man. Piano Dean says, you always hear people complaining when their zippers are broken, but do you ever hear anyone thanking their zippers when they work? Well, If you spent longer than 5 minutes with me, you have. What? Thank you, Piano Dean. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mario Kart tonight, going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys will join us over there. Have a good evening, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.